Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today, as we can see, our market is in red. Most of them are in negative territory. The price of most of the cryptocurrencies crashed yesterday as Bitcoin went below 7,000. Now today we will look at charts for different cryptocurrencies, then news updates for XRP, BTC, Ether and other cryptocurrencies, and then after looking at the news articles and discussing that, we'll go through some Twitter posts which I felt interesting, and even I have some questions and doubts for some of the Twitter posts, so I'll share those with you guys. So back to this. Before starting this, I would like to ask you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a daily basis, do support the channel, give a like. Prior to jumping into the news, I would like to look at the price. So this is the price of XRP. So first we'll look at XRP and then check the news and posts related to XRP, then move back into say another cryptocurrency, BTC, and we'll analyze that, then move into the news. So this is 4-hour chart for XRP. So as far as I can say this, in a shorter time frame, we are seeing that the price is moving below all of the moving average, which we have plotted here. That blue is 20, red is 50, purple is 100-day moving average, and yellow is a 200. So we can see that the moving averages are actually coming down in 4-hour chart, and the price is below that. And this particular point, we can see that previously that area acted as a support area. The price went into that range, bounced back up, managed there, and then it slowly corrected upside. We can call that a small rally because the price actually went up around 35%. So considering traditional market, we can say that 35% is actually okay. But looking at the price where we were just before a couple of months, it's still way below that, right? So looking at the chart in the daily time frame, we can see one thing, that we actually reached the bottom, or we actually reached the last support area, as I can see. So if the market is actually going to go below this, then that would be a danger signal. But at the same time, we also have a lot of danger signals if we are looking at the moving average, MACD, and other technical indicators. Like in this one, you can actually see the 20-day moving average has crossed the 50 and it's crossing the 100-day moving average. That's actually a bad sign. So right now we have all the moving averages above the price, so making that a resistance, and it is following death crosses. We are getting death crosses, like say the 100 is crossing the 50 just crossed the 100, but now the 20 has crossed back to 50 and it's crossing the 100. So that's actually a bad news. Now looking at XRP in a weekly time frame, sorry about that, and we'll change the graph into log scale. Now this is a log scale of weekly XRP. Now we can see that the price is at the support range, but still it hasn't managed to go back up. Now in weekly, we actually got a cross of 20 and 200-day. That's a bad symbol for XRP. Now prior to looking at BTC to USD, we will actually go through the news of XRP. So this one shows that XRP proves effective for Mercury effects as Ripple's on-demand liquidity helps deliver Mexican food faster. So they are actually showcasing the real-time use cases for this. So perfectly what I would like to highlight is, say when you were not using the on-demand liquidity, or when you were using the traditional system, you used to get around $50 in cost for that particular transaction. Say this was related to a Mexican orphanage, and normally when they used to do that, it cost them around $50. But when they are using on-demand liquidity, or the XRP digital asset, it only costs them $2. The difference between $50 and $2 for one transaction is huge, right? So it actually makes a difference for normal customers. So when we look at that, we can see that Mercury FX has offices in London, South Africa, Hong Kong, but is planning another in Dubai. So we know that Filipino nationals, there is a lot in Dubai, and especially if you take the entire United Arab Emirates, we know there is a lot of Indians, Filipinos, Pakistanis working there in that particular country. Yeah, not only that, we can take Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and a lot of other countries where there's a lot of expatriates. So they will be working there and sending money back to their home country. And if some company like this come up with a best option, like say at present they have UAE exchange, so if someone else is coming into the market as a competitor, providing the clients better opportunity, say if you're paying 16 dirhams or 14 dirhams per transaction at the moment, say someone else is coming in and saying, okay, you only give me 50% less than what you used to pay, then yeah, obviously the normal human beings will go there, right? If it is an established company with that reputation. So now this article is actually showing Mercury FX reveals new plan for XRP as Santander brings OnePay FX to the United States. That's actually really positive news for XRP community, because you can see in this one that the chairman of Spanish banking giant Santander stated that we are launching OnePay FX, which is a blockchain-based retail cross-border payments platform with Ripple, by the way, a US company that's coming to US. We are going to do open banking. Now that's a new initiative and that's a perfect one. We can see the use cases and application of the new blockchain technology now coming into the United States. If a bank is actually opening that, then the competitors can't actually fall behind. They'll actually have to do the same, or at least find a competitor who can perform in a similar manner. Otherwise they'll lose their clients. Now this chart analysis in which they showcase this downward wedge, so the chances are that the price can actually break higher. So they say that XRP entered a pennant pattern around 2 weeks ago with an overall decreasing trend in volume over the period. This type of volume trend is associated with 89% of cases for pennant patterns. If the price were to move along with this pattern for another week, it would then be considered a falling wedge pattern. So the MACD suggested a move downwards for the price. So we actually discussed this in our chart analysis. It's a more or less the similar approach, but anyway, I'll actually put the links in the description. If you guys want to go through that, you can. Now XRP adopting form. Thanks to Ripple, Mexico is an economically viable payment corridor now. Previously, when Brad Garlinghouse used to state Mexican peso and United States dollar, at first I didn't understood anything about that, way back, sometime back. But now I understand, because the traditional financial institutions and the corresponding banking network used to make that corridor a bit difficult to achieve, target. Say the friction was too high, the price and cost associated with that was too high. So pertaining to this particular corridor, Ripple went in, they activated their corridor, and now it's actually working easy for them. So the Mercury FX CEO states that we are part of an unbelievable network that spans the planet and opens up new markets. So yesterday we actually talked about new market which was inaccessible previously, and they are working on that right now with the help of Ripple. Now this one is clearly related to BTC, but it's related to our politics, geopolitical scenario and all. Global debt reaches new highs. So that's not only related to BTC, actually it's related to the entire economy and the cryptos as well. We don't know whether this will be positive one or negative one. Now this is a Twitter post in which it shows Meta hash, Visa, Ripple, PayPal and Bitcoin Cash transaction per second. So I didn't actually get this at first, because the transaction per second which they are showing, I'm not clear about that yet. But as far as I know, for XRP, when they showcases 1500, I know it can go way above that. Maybe off chain, but still they managed to go above Visa, because I read in the insights of Ripple, the company, they do even better. Now this one showing that the venture partnership explains the position of X series, RippleNet and on-demand liquidity. Positive news is actually flooding into the market. Still, yeah, I agree that the price It's not reflecting all these positive news. The last week the price is negative 11% for XRP. Now we'll just jump into the Bitcoin news. This one is is showing that the price is going up, but still the price is actually moving down. They're showing the minimum price to cover your fees, because your fees is the price should be reaching here, and the market trend is moving up. But as far as I can see, the market is trending lower. This is a weekly chart, and actually the price went below 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average. Now it's actually a make or a break situation. Say the price is just above the 50-day moving average and below 100-day moving average. So if it managed to bounce from there, then that can be a positive situation in weekly. However, what we have to recognize here is in 1-day chart, we can see that we are getting a lot of death crosses. Say the 20-day moving average is now crossing the 50, the 100-day moving average is crossing the 200-day moving average. So at the moment we have two death cross, and the price is below the prior lows, making a lower low. So still we are not in a bullish trend in a shorter time frame. But we actually discussed about this technical analysis previously and stated, when the price was here, if the price is not breaking high, if it is not pushing high, then there is a potential chance that the price may retest the bottom trend line or the support area. And yes, we actually reached around that, say 7,300. So as we discussed in our previous videos, the price nailed it, right? We came back below that. We just retested that support area. So if the price is managing the same pattern, then the chances that if you are gonna sell, yeah, you should be looking after the break below that. But if you are someone who is looking to buy this for a long term, I think this support can actually play well. But once the price breaks above this trend, then it is okay to buy. If you are a short-term guy looking to go in, I think this support can act well. Say if you're buying here, and similarly like the range trading, when the price reaches above the trend line, say the resistance here, you can sell and take the profit. Now that's not a financial advice, that's my opinion. Now looking into the news of Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin was buried again. This has already happened 337 times. When the price actually falls a bit, say 5%, 10%, 20%, I don't think that's too much in cryptocurrency world. Because when we see a price appreciation, we say it's in hundreds of percentage, thousands of percentage. Just take XRP in 2017, it went, I think, around 70,000%. And when I say that, most of them say, no, brother, you made some kind of a mistake there. So what I would like to say to those guys is, I'll take you to the chart. Say I'll take the tool to measure. This is early 2017, the price was here. Late 2017 or early January 2018, the price is here. Say it came around 70,000%, right? So when we state these and look at the current correction of 10%, 20%, that's not a big deal, right? They say Bitcoin is dead. How many times you heard this if you look at these articles and writers who are stating this? Now Bitcoin plummets to 6-month low on China crackdown. Now article is stating that Chinese is actually cracking down, and I actually saw an article which states Chinese central bank confirms anti-crypto sentiment, blockchain, not Bitcoin. That's what their stance is now. Because as far as I understand crypto, I understand it like as a mechanism which is used to keep the network secure. So if you're using the blockchain and you want that security till the end, you need the miners to do their work. Yeah, then there will be a question that, okay, then what will happen once the mining is done, But yeah, it's not going to happen in 1 or 2 years, right? It's going to take a long time. So by that time, I believe, there will be a new system coming in as a disruptive technology to use this. And, those who are in the cryptocurrency will show the same, who, like the traditional finance marketing is showing now. They hesitate to jump into the new technology because they believe in what they used to, the status quo. But the disruptors are thinking that the status quo is not the best thing when you have this much advancement in the technology. So now looking at news from all coins daily, it shows Bakkt's Bitcoin future launch in Singapore in just 2 weeks. Now, when we see articles like this which shows a positive note and the price is going in the opposite direction, that's really a worst case. Anyway, now this one shows that Cardano creator sets 100k price target for Bitcoin. The price of 100k is not that high if you think, because last high we went from around $1,000 to $20,000. I don't know. Last I think we went from 180, right? We can see the price actually bounced here around 170 and we went up to 20,000%. So say we managed to make around 10,000% rise in BTC. So this is just speculation. Say if we get at least half of that in this cycle, say just assuming that we are bottoming out here. Okay, for the optimal situation, I'll say instead of taking that, I'll take this 3,000 as our bottom. And if we look at that 10,000%, oh, the price is too much, right? It's about $300,000 Bitcoin. So $100,000 Bitcoin is not that big deal. Say if you're looking at $100,000 Bitcoin in percentage, what you can see is it's just 3,500%. Yeah, when we say that it's just 3,500%, the people, if you are listening to this as a newbie, you will be surprised. But if you look at previous market cycles of cryptocurrency, you will understand that just the initial pump was 300%. So when there is a euphoria, it will be 10 times more this or 100 times more this. You can't actually predict anything because this is cryptocurrency market. Now looking at the rest of news, say Bakkt and ICE will offer cash settled Bitcoin future in Singapore this December. So December, we are already on the 22nd November. Today, where I'm from is 23rd November. Say I'm in South Korea. Now, this is actually a good news looking at December. But recently, what is happening with cryptocurrency world is like you're anticipating a good news, and yeah, the price may go up a bit, but people sell when the news is out, right? And the price crashes down because they are hyping it a lot. They're thinking that the price will reach 20k in just 1 month, because that doesn't happen in that way, right? When we look at that previously, we can actually see the price started pumping up high from August 2015 and reached the top around early 2018, say the end of 2017. So it took around 1.5-2 years, right, for that to happen. So good things come for those who wait. That's what I would like to say about that. Now this one is showing that Ethereum bulls look for entry above 100-day moving average. So that's actually a good deal, right? Look, the price is actually making a double bottom or a triple bottom or a rounding bottom, and you're getting a golden cross. But technicals are still there, and most of them, when they hear golden cross, now don't have that much hype as compared to previous days, because we used to say, the price is gonna bounce, we are gonna get 1,000%, 100% in just a click. But no, it takes time. Now this one shows Ethereum falls 15% in a bearish trade. We all know that the price of cryptocurrencies crashed last 2 days. We came a bit down, but most of them is stating that ETH has reached its bearish target. So if the price has reached its bearish target, then that should be the entry point for many traders. So we are now going to look at the daily chart of Ethereum, and let's try to analyze where the trend line is, where the resistance is. So we'll try our max to check it in a proper way to connect all the points possible and make it a valid trend point. So yeah, if we draw this in this manner, we can see somehow I don't see the price actually bottoming at a support there. Yeah, this area is a support area, as this was previous resistance. Now this is acting as a support, but for this particular trend line, I don't think it's valid to state that, because if we connect all these lines, yeah, if we take a standard deviation, maybe, but still it's at the bottom. We can see, yeah, we have previous support and resistance in that area, so I kind of agree with that author. Anyway, we'll actually look at what other cryptocurrencies are doing. Like XLM was the one which pumped a bit higher when they burned the coins, right, the Stellar community, and it went like a boom. But yeah, it made a lot of good cross here, say the golden cross, but the price is coming back down. It retested this area, and if you put that into a weekly perspective and connect it to say Wyckoff principle or something like that, you can see that the price is kind of bottoming or at the end of bearish trend. But when we try to join these, what we understand is it's in long term weekly chart, it's still in that trend line. So the trend line resistance pushed the price back down into the trading range, and the price is moving below. So yes, the price can actually go back lower. There is a possibility for that. We can't actually neglect that. Anyway, when we look at this, we can see the last week the price actually went really low. For Litecoin, it's negative 17%, EOS negative 20%, Binance Coin negative 23%, and it follows, most of the cryptocurrencies are in that area. Compared to that, XRP is not in a bad situation, say negative 11%. When BTC is negative 13%, yeah, you can expect that. Most of the cryptocurrencies follow Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is considered as the king of the market. So that's it. Anyway, thank you for listening to today's video. If you guys like the content I'm providing, please do support the channel by giving it a like and do subscribe to the content. I'll meet you guys on my next video.